right, so Shannon Sharpe ex-girlfriend Michelle Bondi reveals some new details about how she was great by Shannon back in the days. Let me go ahead and play it. This is not the Michelle that we heard from the IG Live. This is the Michelle that he dated back in the days. So let me just go ahead and play it here.
The biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand.
All right, so that was a little intro. So now we're going to play the full interview.
We met in, actually, the press room at the Broncos, April of 2002. And, but we didn't start talking until we met up at a club at Blue 67 in Denver. I don't know if anyone is listening from Denver, but yeah, we were at a club at the same time. We didn't go together. We just happened to both be there. And so he started talking to me, and he started pursuing me pretty heavily from then on. I resisted for a while because, I was a reporter, and I didn't want to mix the two.
Let me say this, man. She looks beat up to me, if you ask me. She's not that cute. Let me just put a picture here. She's not that cute. I would assume that back then she was like hot, but right now she looks so beat up. And I'm like, what is the point of doing this though? Are you looking for justice, or you just looking for money? Because usually when people start suing like this, or the civil lawsuit, they start filing for civil lawsuit, that means they need money. Financially, they're not doing well, they need money. She's doing that for money. Maybe she's getting paid to do those podcasts. I'm like, the whole time, where were you the whole time? So she waited for Gabriela Zuniga to file the lawsuit for her to come out to talk about Shannon. Like, what is the end goal of her doing this interview? I'm not sure if she already filed for the lawsuit, but yeah, she looks like nasty, man. It seems like nigga would just smash anything white. We have no standards when it comes to white people, but when it comes to our own, we'd be like, nah, I want my black girl to be like that. But when it comes to white girls or white women, nigga just gonna smash anything. But let me continue, man.
Plus, I was a reporter, and I didn't want to mix the two. But he's very charming.
Ooh. He says very charming. Another thing I noticed, she said that he was heavily pursuing her. And that's the same thing that Gabriela Zuniga said. That's some skills that Unc has to pursuing girls, like very good and charming too. Ooh, Lord, he got some games though. All right, so they said if you were...
We dated until the 2010 incident. And then it came to abrupt end because I wanted, we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me.
So what led up to that fight, that 2010 fight that you guys, I know that the argument ensued first before he allegedly raped you?
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. And he had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating, so I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. Shannon asked me to break up with my husband, and I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you.
Listen, man, this girl, like, something tells me that certain things that she's saying, she's lying. I cannot trust her 100%. So she said that Shannon, actually she was married. The whole time Shannon was clapping them cheeks, she had a husband. This is not like a boyfriend, not like a snake link. She had a husband. And she was mad because Shannon moved out another girl and moved in another girl. I'm like, why were you even mad for? Because you had a husband at the time. If anything, this should be good for you because, he has somebody So whenever I'm not available, he can do his things so I can be good with my husband. Because if I'm the only one for him, I'll be too busy. He'll be calling me left and right because I'm the only one. But the fact that he has somebody already besides me, that makes it easier. So I can focus on my husband. When I get a little bit of time, I can focus on him. So they both hosts. And she's saying that I can't recall if I did or not. So that's why I say she's lying. If you were married and you filed for divorce or you broke up with your boyfriend, that's something you easily recall. Ain't no way you're going to say, I can't recall. That's why I say that she's lying. So somebody's asking you to break up with your husband and you did it to be with him, knowing that he has been cheating for the past 8 years that you guys been smashing, and you knew that you were just one of the girls on his rotation, and you went on, broke up with your husband just to be with him, not even to live with him, just to be a snake link. Someone's like, you left a husband to be with somebody snake, to be somebody else's snake link or situationship. This is nasty work. This is karma. I don't feel bad for her at all. I'm pretty sure the husband watching this, eating some popcorn, sipping some juice or beer, be like, I'm happy this happened to you. So the whole time you cheated on me with Shannon, that black guy, that black nigga. I believe the husband was white. So I ain't gonna lie, man. Shit, but let me continue, man.
But you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it's coming from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me, anyway.
Can you make it make sense? He's saying that he's not a faithful person. I was not going to be faithful to him. You aren't a faithful person either. The same thing. You were cheating on your husband with him. You're not faithful. Both of you guys are not faithful. You're match. Y'all not faithful. How you gonna say it's not faithful when you were not faithful? Both of you guys are not faithful at all. If anything, you worse because you had a husband. Lordy, you cannot make this shit up though.
Tell us just broadly. I know it's probably painful to relive this situation, but can you tell us generally what happened that day?
It was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in.
Lie.
And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me.
I think pay attention to the words that she's using. I think she practiced those. She practiced the interview. I'm not sure what she's trying to get out of this interview, but the words that she's using, things that she's saying, the way she's laying down the story, she's trying to destroy Shannon's image and eventually maybe file for a lawsuit because she needs money. Yeah, pay attention to that, guys.
Beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. And he wouldn't take no for an answer, so he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his penis in my mouth.
Huh?
And after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, this was all a struggle. So I had said no. And I said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard. I remember he got dressed and...
So it seems like they're cutting the interview. They chop it up a little bit, they edit it out. Yeah, this is a little, it's like 50-50. I don't really trust her like that, like I said, man. It's like she's really thinking hard. It's like she's repeating things that she read it somewhere. She read, like, she prepared the interview, she memorized it, and now she's just trying to repeat so she can sound very, very, how can I say, people can have a sympathy for her and make Shannon looks like the devil. Although I'm not saying Shannon's innocent. I'm not saying he's innocent, but this is her side of the story, and we don't know what really happened that day. She said she was raped, whatever, but we cannot prove it, though. We cannot prove it, but let me continue.
He knew what he did, and so, I just kind of escorted him out the door, and then I wasn't going to do anything about it.
So why now?
Sometimes when you're with the person for a long time, it's hard for you to realize that they're being the perpetrator, even though you know it, you don't want to admit it, and there's so much going through your mind. But then he started coming at me. If I tell anybody, he'll use everybody he knows to destroy me, which he basically has. And then he started making other threats against my life, threats. He just was so worried that it would get out, and I wasn't going to do anything. But when he kept calling me at work, and when he kept, just very aggressively behaving, and I could see it wasn't going to go away, and he said he was going to destroy me and he was going to kill me, and he told me he was watching me, and all that. I just went and got a protective order. I'd had enough. And unfortunately, shortly after, he doxed me and my address got out, and I had somebody stop by my apartment, which had a door that led right to the side. It was basically on the sidewalk, and somebody came up to my door and said, "Shut up," screamed it at the top of their lungs. And I had my daughter in there right there, and I was like, oh no. And so I went in and I dropped it, because also at my house, not my apartment, my house, at my house, somebody came to my house and sat out front of, in the driveway while my daughter was there alone. Someone came to my house, someone came to my apartment, and after my daughter called me, that's when I went straight there.
So after you...
So I recall, I think I read it somewhere, she had a restraining order on Shannon back in 2010. So let me continue.
Rescinded the restraining order.
Yeah.
Was there any other weird stuff, or did it kind of just die down?
It died down. I tried to move on with my life. We may have talked, I think, once or twice. But then he started going on television. He came to my job, Turner Broadcasting, went on TV at CNN, and it was my job to put the videos from up to YouTube for CNN. That was part of my job. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting up this video, and here I see Shannon at my job talking about domestic violence, and the co-host mentioned that, oh, you had one that was just totally dropped, made it look like the police dropped it. Not that I had gone down and withdrawn it. It created a picture that wasn't accurate. And that was a very hostile work environment.
I'm going to ask something that might be a little sensitive or might sound insensitive, I should say. But I'm going to go ahead and ask it because it's a question that I'm sure people are wondering. Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you? Because
I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows, and he knows lots of police officers.
So now you don't care about your life anymore because you're old? You don't care about your life anymore? I mean, I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
So I didn't know that if I went down there that would be one of the people that he knows. Atlanta has a problem with corruption down there. And I was too scared to go to the police. Because when this happens, you're in a trauma mindset. You're not in every day you and I are talking here like, oh.
I get it. When things like that happen, your mind is a little different, right? But for you to wait 15 years, like this happened in 2010 and we are in 2025. So she waited 15 years. That's kind of a lot. So to be honest with you, if Gabriela Zuniga didn't file a lawsuit or the lawsuit didn't go public, she'll probably still be quiet. Dead ass. Yeah, trauma, I get it. That's something very serious, but to wait 15 years though, that's a little fishy though. Sometimes the way it works, like the media or the higher ups people will try to bring people to put you down, right? We heard about Shannon 100 million deal. You know, there might be so many things behind closed doors that we don't know. Maybe certain things that they started not liking about Shannon, and they were like, yo, we gotta put this nigga down, man. We're gonna bring everybody up front, right? So that might be the case. So now I'm just thinking out loud though.
Okay, well maybe I should do that. No, you're like fear for your life. You're traumatized. You're not thinking straight. You're having anxiety and panic attacks. And I was worried that he would, get a hold of this police officer, and who knows what would happen. And so it was just a decision, and it's a decision a lot of rape victims make, to not go to the police. They always say the woman is crazy. Hey, I might be at this point after everything I've dealt with. But back then, no. I'm definitely not crazy. And to see him paint me the way that he did, first off, I'm not somebody crawling out of the woodwork to talk about my connection with him like he insinuated in his statement. I've been out. I've been suing him.
So I think what happened was, at the time, because they dated for 8 years. So when that happened, the rape allegation, she didn't see it like that. Where she was like, okay, there's somebody I've been smashed, I've been dating. Yeah, it was just a little aggressive, whatever. Maybe the next day she asked for some money, things were cool, because she's saying she stopped seeing him after that happened. But who knows? Who knows what happened the next day or the next week? Maybe Shannon was, oh, I'm so sorry about what happened. Let me take you out. Let me buy you gifts, things of the nature. She was cool with it. And now she just make it seems like, oh, she stopped, when it happened, they never smash again. They haven't done anything again. But like I said, this is her side of the story. But Shannon has to speak too, though. I smell cap here. I smell like something's fishy. Something that ain't right. All right, but
what's your message to his latest accuser, who's been doxing? What would you say to her if you can send a message to her?
I pray for you. I have been there. I've been dealing with this for 15 years, so I know what you're going through.
I think that's all, man. Yo, Shannon's going through it right now. Yeah, man. This is not looking good. Step down from ESPN. And, yeah, man, this is not looking good at all for Shannon. I hope this is the last woman, because if there's another woman coming out, bro, that will be a wrap for Shannon, especially if he did it. But he's lucky because these are they're still civil lawsuits, but they're not criminal. But hey, man, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Other than that, catch you next time. Peace out, family. I'm out.